Need to breathe.
What's up?
How
Hi.
are you?
Hey.
Thank you so much for your time today. You've got new music in the works, which I want to hear about. But first, I just need to know how's 2020 doing for everybody?
Great.
Surviving.
Yeah, we're still
Just surviving.
series of unfortunate events. It's been kind of crazy,
Yeah.
but kind of a blessing in some ways. It's been really, we've been on the road for however many years, 10 years or so. So the forced break has been kind of nice. And me and Josh have young kids. It's like it's nice to have that time. I don't think we would have taken it. So it's been a really cool sort of connection time with them. But it's tough for sure, making a new record and then obviously not being able to tour it and all the stuff that normally goes along with it. So hopefully there's a whole purpose to the way this is rolled out for everybody. And I think at least we feel like that's happening to us in some ways.
Let's talk about the young kids for just a second, because Bear, you've got two young kids, and then are we allowed to say the additional part of that?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Of course.
I'll let you say it.
Yeah. I've got one on the way. Another boy.
What?
So I know
Stop
Josh is
it.
like,
Yeah, we
wait.
knew already. I'm just kidding.
Um, yeah, I got another boy coming end of August. So it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be a very gassy house. A lot of testosterone, but
Your
it's
poor
fun. We're
wife.
having fun with it.
Bear, you played football in high school and college. What's harder to do, to catch a football at full speed or to wrangle those boys when you're getting them out of the bath?
No question, the boys is harder. I tell Mariams all the time. I look at her, I'm like my wife, and I'm like, I can't believe that you're humanly like it's possible to do what we're doing with the kids right now. Like to have the energy and the level of like, and she's obviously pregnant in the middle of the summer and also trying to deal with the kids being there every day, and it's kind of insane. If I didn't have that bandwidth, I don't think when I was in college. So it's surprising what you're able to accomplish.
And then, Seth, you play drums in the band, but there's also a side business involving treehouses, and I just got to get in there on this. Tell me more.
Yeah, so my dad's a builder. I grew up in construction, so that was kind of like the first creative things I did was, build stuff. And so my dad and I built a treehouse for my wife and I's wedding and honeymoon. And then after that, we put on Airbnb, and people just loved it. And the whole point was like to give people a chance to kind of step away from like adulthood and all those pressures and just be able to be friends again and reconnect with nature, reconnect with each other. And it's been something that people have loved, and so it's been a very rewarding thing to do.
So, if anybody's been in tight quarters and they want to move to even tighter quarters for a vacation this summer,
Yeah, it's tight quarters in the treehouse, and then there's a big property that they can enjoy and be outside. So that's been a blessing.
and then also speaking to kids, Josh, your side hustle is during this break with the band, you did some kids music. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I mean, I've always wanted to do it, and I wanted to do something like Seth that's creative, that kind of is my personality. I've always worked with kids before I was in bands. I did a lot of working with kids and stuff, and doing music classes with them, and so I wanted to kind of do that, and it allows me to to be invested in my own kids. I can write songs for them, but also knowing that other kids and families are going to get to it too, and it's a great way for me to, I guess, to continue being creative musically, and it kind of bleeds back into what we do in the band. Which, so it's been fun. I mean, it's one of those things that I kind of wanted to do a couple of kid songs, and then now it's like I get messages from people all over the world that are listening to the stuff, which is just crazy that people are listening to it. And I think it's just really a rewarding side hustle, I guess, in that way, which is really fun.
Okay, so every parent right now needs me to ask the details on what the project is called and who you've collaborated with, because every parent is looking for music that the kids will like, but that's not going to annoy them.
Yeah. Well, it's totally. It's under my name, and I have two records. One's called Young Folk, and one's called Growing Up. And I've had people like Ellie Holcomb and Ben Rector and This band from Brooklyn called Spirit Family Reunion, and a bunch of other people that've been a part of it. And yeah, the song called Bear in the Woods Ate My Underwear, which is about Bear Reinhardt. And yeah, so
Is that for real?
it's not about Bear, no, but it would have been.
But it really is a title.
Yeah, I did write a song about that, and it's kind of like, if you know, everybody wants that Garth Brooks hit that you walk out on stage and play the first note, and it's like, unfortunately that's my hit. So
It's gonna follow you around. That's good.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, let's talk about the new single and let's talk about the new album.
Yeah, the new record is called Out of Body and comes out end of August, and the first single is Who Am I? And I think it's like in some ways a little microcosm of the record. The record is really about some tough things that we have gone through in the last year or two personally, even before the pandemic and all this stuff started happening. I think kids have forced me to deal with some anxiety and depression, things that I feel like I've lived with for a long time and sort of managed in certain ways. That stuff makes it very hard to feel like you're loved. I think it's a challenge for me, and I tell the kids that we're going to love them forever, no matter what they do, and I think they kind of believe that. It's hard for me to believe that. I think probably most people. I sort of walk into a lot of rooms feeling like I don't deserve to be there, I'm not worthy of it, and so I wanted to write something about that feeling, and I think the takeaway from it is that we obviously are. Once you say it out, get it out into the ether, you're like, you know what, time and time again I've felt that way, and the worst it's gotten for me personally, sometimes the more loved I've felt, and I think that's what Who Am I is about.
So good. We're so excited. When the record is done, and this is my last question, so I'd like to hear from each of you. When the record is done and wrapped up, who is the first person that you play it for?
For me, it's my wife. She will not let me play her demos because she's my toughest critic. So I think I want to play her the stuff that I've been working on for months, and that's the first chance I get.
Yeah, for me, it's my wife as well, and then my brother. They're both huge music lovers, and so I want to make sure they like it.
Yeah, I think one of the cool things about being in a band is your family most of the time thinks that you're pretty cool, like your extended family, not your close family. They don't care at all. But so I send it to my cousins and even my kids. I mean, if my kid, actually my son sings on this record, which is pretty cool. So he's like telling all his friends he's famous and all this stuff. So yeah, definitely family and close friends, and get to kind of see their first reaction, which is pretty fun.
Hey, wasn't your son asking about being in the band photos or something recently? We were doing something. He was like,
yeah, we had a photo shoot, and he's like, do I need to come to this? And I was like, no, you're good, man. You're good. He did have to sign like a release from a record label, and he was just like, I guess I should sign my name here.
That's great. How old is he?
He is 6, I think. Yeah, he's 6. Yeah, he'll be 7 this year.
Awesome. Well, congrats on the new music, guys. We're so grateful. So Bear, Seth, Josh, thanks so much for your time today, you guys.
Of course. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.